Good evening, guys. It's a 7:19 p.m. Today is Tuesday and May 24th. Okay, so this was the closing remark from yesterday, end of the day, so in our end of the video, or notes, that I want to see buyers holding it above hunting levels. Hunting levels are this 10 to 32, okay, in general, and preferably above 45 in ES and 1197 in MQ. Now after that, what happened? Overnight gap down below these areas, right? So that's the first sign you are getting it from the price action perspective, that something is off, right? Now I think looks like sellers are back in the business, right? Then entire overnight, what happened? Price couldn't go higher, right? That's another sign sellers are in control, right? So, and then we are going into opening, right? But before open, this was the pre-market notes, right? So we have to think from two angles now. So first thing was the way we discussed in our Discord in the morning, right? Around in our 9 o'clock voice session, right? That both sides are active, and the way I explained was there was a clear difference between yesterday and today. See, yesterday what I explained in Discord, and I think probably in the notes, that I am seeing some buyers, right? And we are going to take longs with no process of, we can basically go with the flow for the longs, but for the shorts we have to follow the two-step process which I explained, right? That was the story for yesterday. Today I flipped that story. So today in Discord I said, below, for sellers we have to trust them, and if they move down right of the open, we have to trust them, and we can go with the flow to the downside, to short basically, right? But if price goes higher, then we have to follow the two-step process, right, which will give us a late entries, not like immediate entries, but safer entries. But for shorts we don't have to do that check mark, we can immediately go with the flow. So I completely flipped the statement between yesterday and today. Today was completely opposite, So now, being said that, I also in this note, right, the talk is about buyers, right, maintaining. See, this is the story, whatever I just explained, gap down and all this thing, right? But still, let's say if you ignore overnight, then technically buyers have some control above certain levels, which is this, right? So because of that up and down move, this entire area became a garbage area. So that means you can prefer not to trade in this area, and you can only trade outside this area. That's the one way to do it. Now within, since it's a big area, I divided this area into two garbage sections. So first garbage section was this 10 to 32. If price goes over both areas, that means price is on top of first garbage. That means buyers are active, and then they can still, sellers can still defend, but buyers have more control little bit, while entering to this next garbage area. Basically it's a 33 to 63. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now this is a haunting level, right? So the top is 32, bottom is 10. So if we also discuss the scenario in Discord, that if, so since price opened at 32, the first thing right of the open I said in Discord is somebody can short here and some other parties can go long here too. There are both scenarios applicable here. Since it's the top of the garbage, you can get a breakout long, or maybe you can go long right at 32 and pretend that it will hold, but your stop has to be below 39.10 or 39.20 actually for that long. And then I also said somebody can short it, stop has to be around 43, and they can short it, right, since it was the top of the hunting level. And then I also explained the rationale, right? Somebody asked why long versus short, right, both cases, and then which one to favor, right? And so I gave a rationale about 4 reasons in Discord why somebody prefers short versus long. See, long had no reason, only one reason for long, versus 4 reasons favoring shorts. So obviously short makes sense, but we have to process everything in our mind right of the open, right? So it was not an ideal trade for everybody else to take it, you know. So I took it, but it's not for everybody else, right? So but at least when price went down from 32, right, then you know most likely now the target is it's gonna go towards 10 now, right? So later on there was a pullback at 26. That was the ideal trade to get in, targeting 39.10 or possibly lower, you know. So that's the story. Overall, either it's going to fill the gap if it goes above 32 and just goes higher and higher, or if it gets rejection from here, most likely it will go below this, you know. NQ, same story, you know. The levels are different, but it's the same story as ES, you know. So the levels are here, you can read through it, right? I'm not going to talk about all this thing in detail because in Discord we already went through all these things. Russell also, these are the levels, right? 66, 68 I talked about it, right? Above buyers, below sellers. Dow also I talked about these levels, right? Crude oil we also talked about this. Dream number is 771801, right? So now going into the day here, right? So today I'm going to explain both Mboxwave. I'm going to cover NQ for Mboxwave, and I'm going to do our regular video here. So please stay tuned for Mbox. I will cover it little bit later, you know, for NQ at least. ES I didn't get a chance to look into it, but NQ yes. So this was a 32 idea, right? 50-50 shorts and long idea. So this one I took it, and then this was a very good opportunity right here, you know, because by this time we were discussing in Discord that sellers are now in control, right? The way we know the importance of these 4 areas and the way price slice through it, right? Even we discussed why not take a long in this area now, right? Why not take a long at 755 Globex low? Why avoid that long but instead look for short? We discuss all these things, right, in Discord. So I'm not going to explain all this thing again here, right? But the way price was in line, the first statement was here was before open. If you look at this, my notes on the chart, which is this backup area for sellers below 52, right? So at least I know below 52 sellers have a control. Also I put a note here, preferred area for sellers to hold below, right? And price to open at 32, right? So at least ES was little bit in the middle, but at the top of the garbage, right? For NQ was clear, you know, because NQ was trading below both backup and preferred sellers area, right? So here I put additional note, more sellers are active below this level now, you know, it's like elevated level, and above little bit buyers may come, right? So right before the open you can see there was a rejection into this area, right? This rejection came after I published my notes, right? So here there was a rejection, then price came down. These are dotted lines, our dream number, right? It held it the dream number, then it went down, went up again, and then out of the open it just sliced through all this level up to here, right? At this time, this was yesterday's low. You know that sellers are in control, and based on our discussion we can go with the flow and we have to trust the sellers. That was the idea. That means we are looking for shorts now, right? So that's why this shorts make sense. So when price went down in ES at 15 right here, and it was balancing at 15, which is this area, right, ahead of the level, key level, that means these are the poor buyers, right? The moment price bounce, you short it because it was confluence area too at that time. It was a bonding mini low plus VWAP and mid, right? And internals were holding very nicely lower. Momentum was below zero line, right? At the same time, if you look at NQ right here, it broke through Globex low and it bounced back to touch the Globex low. That was the time you short it around 9:45 or so. In ES it was 26. Both shorts, now you look for target into this area, you know, either 10, either 07 or 3900, you know, and then you basically bail out, because I was not looking for a trend down day today, you know. That was the whole idea. In Discord I explained, right, that we are not looking for a trend down day. That means we have to take profit, and you can see it. See, price reversed on you. So since by looking at this it was looking like a trend down day, right, but still I said I'm not looking for a trend down day before the open even, right, or right around here. And that's why I took the profit at 650, because this level we discussed that most likely either 700 or 650 will provide the bounce. In this case, it went below it, balanced it, and then back above 650. Right here, your day is screwed up, you know, beginning to screw up. And here it was officially done, you know, screwed up day, finalized, right? And then you can see it 650 held eventually, right? So that we already discussed here, that 650 or 700 may hold and provide a bounce, which is they did it here. You know? It was just, you know, a recipe to lose money for the day trader if you trade in this garbage. You know? So you need to know when to spot the garbage, you know, and then stop trading. So I took the profit right here at 3900 and NQ 650, and also I took profit at 707 in NQ, right? And I was done trading. You know, after that I shut down my computer. You know? That is what I do always. So, but after that, if you are watching it, this was the trade to take right here, you know, relying on these sellers to at least price to come back down somewhere here, you know, and NQ somewhere around here. So here in this case, when you took this trade first time up, you can't take this trade. Why? Because you already know the reason now, right? Price had an opportunity to balance here and then break out, and it's coming, right? And now you are seeing momentum here, see, picking up. So that's why you don't want to trade it at the first time, but if you want to see, either you can look for mini balance breakdown or further test higher with big internals at that time, some divergence, and then you can short it, right? So in this case there was no clear divergence, but price poked higher and immediately tried to come down. This was the short to take it and hope for the breakdown below this and target this area. The moment here also same thing happened. Price tried to break down, come back up, pause, try to go higher. Here you bail out at break even. Same story you can apply to NQ and break out break even here. You know, take the trade, break even here, and then done. At that point, the moment you take a break even, you have to assume official garbage, officially screwed up day. After that point onwards, you basically stay away from the market and do not trade. You know. No matter what, you know, that's the best way to survive in the long term in this market. You know, you have to spot the upcoming garbage coming, and then you have to stop trading. You know, otherwise you have to take a help from some tools or something to spot the divergence and fade idea. You know, the top and bottoms, right? So that's the story for a NQ and ES for today, right? In line with what our thought process was. Now let me walk you through the Mbox also. 5 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute, right? Okay, so let me, so Mbox has a great trade today, you know, here. Okay, so okay, let me walk you through here first, right? So now look at it here. So around 7 o'clock or between 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, somewhere after 7 or 8 o'clock, right? So up to this point you can see price was going higher and higher and higher, right? And then some selling came here, so kind of a change of behavior right here, right? And then there were some shorts, right? You can see 328, 215, 32, 156, right? Compared to this buying 92, 36, right? And there are a lot of sell algos here. So this activity suggests there are some sellers here, right? So you're grabbing the idea. You know, I usually don't trade in the pre-market, so that's why I'm not showing you any trades here. You know, I only trade in after open. So, but at least you are gathering information, right? And then, so you know now sellers are in control here, right? And then suddenly something happened, right? Somebody decided to buy it, right? From that 800 area, let's say, right? And then you can see algo again, you know, 184, good delta, buying, X control buying, big dot, right? Big dot, 138, 144, right? And then 102, correct? And then here also at pullback you can see positive delta. So this was completely buying going on, correct? Looks like price wants to go to moon. It just took care of all these sellers, right? So at this point here, the assumption is, see, delta was also good, right? There was a buying also coming here, right? At this time assumption is, man, this thing wants to go higher, right? That is what Mbox is showing you, correct? Then now you have to remember my pre-market notes also, right? That who is in control from which level, right? Which is for NQ, you know, based on this note, man, hold on. So NQ based on these notes, you already know now, right? So let's say if you have a notes, right? Let's say if you don't have a notes, then you don't know. Then you have to wait for the signal, right? But let's say if you know the notes, then you know pretty much below this area sellers are in full control. even though this thing is showing you buying, this is could be trap buyers, you know. So but anyway, so after this you can see again this thing coming, again sellers, right? 86, 49, 11, like looks like this buyers are, you know, it's gone, but still it was holding here nicely, right, despite these things. And there was a little cumulative delta, not much, right? And there was no selling here. So I would assume maybe this thing is to trap sellers little bit, no? Then I would assume then in that case it has to continue higher, which it did actually. Look here, 148, right? Again good delta, and price went higher, fine. On the way down, minus 41, 115, still it's good, right? Buyers are there. And then what happened? Suddenly sellers came, right? From 855, which is this, somewhere around here, right? And then we have X control dot, you have a UT signal here, right? And then price went down as usual. That 800 buyers that they again stepped in here, right? And then so you are watching all these things, right? And then what happened here? 800 down move from here to here, right? You can see it here. Actually, let me walk backwards here. See, so here on the way up, right? Looks like it wants to go higher, but look at that. Look at, there is no cumulative delta here, right? Pretty much zero delta, right? So that was the first warning sign. Something is off, correct? Then price tried to go higher again. Some delta came, right? And here also some buying came, correct? Looks like it wants to go higher, because delta was good actually, 115, lower than this, but it was good, right? But then what did you notice? See these things? Look at this, 102, 115, right? And then look at the delta, completely die down, pretty much, right? And so here, completely die down, so that there is no delta here, right? Then you are now coming into this, somebody sold off here, shorted here, right? Then price from here to here, you can see this delta, which is more than this delta, right? That's the first thing you notice, correct? And then you can see some more selling also came in here, right? Then what happened? We still know that there's somebody bought it at 800, right? And then look at those guys again bought it here, right? With X control, right? Looks like it wants to go to moon again, correct? But here look at this delta, still diverging strongly, right? And look at the buying compared to this buying. See the distance wise, from here to here, same distance, from here to here, here to here. On this distance, look at the selling. On this distance, same distance up, look at the buying, less buying, right? Less delta. So compared to this, if you compare to this leg, right? So again something is off. These buyers are not good. So now if you know all this information from here, you know exactly that selling is coming. But let's say we don't know about the levels, right? So then what? Then here, based on this, you know something is off. Looks like, you know, buyers are not strong. The moment you see this next bar, price going through all these things, 800, you are ready to short right here, you know, because by the time you can see the delta here, see that there was a beam balance also here. So you are ready to short right here, right? There was a Globex low around 750 also, right? So by default, usually people try to buy it at Globex low, which I discussed here in my Discord, not to buy it. Ignore it, I said, but instead look for short. So the shorts, where were two shorts? Either you go with the flow right at this Globex low breakdown and little pop back up, or you can wait for this area to short again, you know, at this area, right? So which is this or this, either one, right? And then you can short it and then just follow along, you know. There was no warning sign, so you can hold your trade, right? If you know the level, then you can take profit, otherwise, you know, hold your trade, you know. And then there is a change of behavior right here. Look at this buying, right? Change of behavior. So that's the warning sign. The moment price pull back, you still hold it because it looks like it wants to go further down. This is a normal pullback, right? Then what happened? Next bar up, and price couldn't go down further. You look for your exit somewhere around here, or you can still hold it if you want, you know, and then look for further evidence. Further evidence was when price was balancing here, you can see this buying completely above zero line, right? So you can bail out somewhere around here also. And that's it pretty much, you know, one trade. I'm not gonna discuss all this again afterwards, but this was a good trade, you know, and that be all.